Boba Fett.
The thing is, of course, that there's a sort of wordy mistake, one that Ludwig Wittgenstein, no doubt, would appreciate it, that we use serious to mean important, and this implies that comedy is not important. Of course, comedy can be the most important thing there is. The ability to laugh can actually provide understanding. So this linguistic chain with which we are bound is one which we are bound to snap in our more lucid moments.
Thank you, Hal. Thank you for switching gears. Could Superman eat coal and shit a diamond? What gastrointestinal superpowers does Superman possess?
When I was a kid, I used to visit my cousin's farmhouse in Indiana. They had a huge pile of Superman comics, which I would retire and address myself to. And thus it is that I remember in those days when the adventures of Superman were drawn by such artists as Kurt Swan, or particularly Wayne Boring, an artist with an interesting surname which matches his art. Superman would perform prodigies like crushing a diamond out of a lump of coal. He also was able to eat metal and presumably pass it. Yes, Superman is not as we are. He only resembles a human because of something known as convergent evolution. But he is of a different clay. And so, Robert, I suppose he might be able to eat coal and pass a diamond by supreme contraction of his anal aperture. But Superman need not perform such a gastronomic prodigy, because he is able to do it with his own hands, as I recall. Oh yes, hot dogs. He ate hot dogs, including alien hot dogs. I once remember they were about 4 feet long, and he got Lois to eat them too. You can tell what they were thinking that day.
Lois eats hot dogs?
The funny thing is that Lois thought that she and her friend Clark were actually eating mock-ups of the alien hot dogs.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
When actually they were eating the true alien hot dogs from millions of miles outside our solar system. But Superman, being so chivalrous, kept this disquieting news from Lois.
Dr. Hal, while we're talking about Superman, can you remind me of what it's called when Lois Lane has sex with Superman? What is that word for that? Isn't there a word for that?
Murder. Well, maybe there'd be more than one word. Maybe it would be pulling his punches, because poor Superman could never let himself go. In the moment of release, he would drive poor Lois into a million pieces. But as I said, he's an alien, and so it would be a goddamn act of bestiality. But even if it weren't, Lois would soon perish from peritonitis, from infection of the abdomen, because the microscopic sperm of Superman would also be super and immediately burrow at fast and light speed through her abdominal wall. Then these sperm would be traveling around and encountering every unattached female in Metropolis, leaving behind the sinister glow of Cherenkov radiation. But these sperm could not bear fruit. The moment a normal sperm reaches the egg, one of them manages to penetrate and form a zygote, but in this case there would be a microscopic gangbang as all super sperm annihilated whatever egg they found. Perhaps a good thing, considering the effect of a super strong infant in an unfortunate Earth woman's womb. The whole thing is impossible and repulsive, should not be contemplated. Superman must satisfy himself in his own way, which is better left to the imagination.
I'm sorry I asked! I just had an abortion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How long before I can go swimming? Okay, here's a good question for you, Hal.
Right.
I just had an abortion.
Oh, how sad.
Hold on, I think I asked this smoking for? How long before I can have sex? Have we asked this one already?
No, it was about swimming.
Swimming.
Without knowledge of the particular type of procedure, its recent provenance, its severity, the patient's own reaction, it would be improper to diagnose at this particular time. The Ask Dr. Hal show will not be held responsible for medical advice given in these circumstances or straits.
Bastard you! Rihanna's question.
All right.
What is my boyfriend's cat thinking?
Provoked by the limbic system, like Jesus would in the morning, moved on the face of the water. Or a werewolf.
Why do blah 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 blah? And we'll just do, so that it can be binary.
Like do birds appear every time you are here?
Instead of why do birds
suddenly every time you're near?
There's no singing at the show. It's an intellectual salon.
I'm afraid I'm behind the curve with that one. Let's go. There went that one.
This is a question from Luscious Simpson.
All right.
Dr. Hal,
Yes.
I just had an abortion. Can I have some Fernet?
Well, I don't see why not. Of course, you're the dispenser. Let's have this recently aborted person come on up and Yes, Fernet Bronca, the subject of its own cult, was of an inexplicable choice. Oh, that was our own John Hell, ladies and gentlemen.
I just had an abortion.
You too. Boy, there are a lot of them going around. Someone has been indiscreet.
Do I have to return the shower gifts?
Only if the offending infant was conceived in the shower.
Dr. Hal,
Yeah.
I just had an abortion. Do you think he's gonna want the ring back?
You're not referring to an intrauterine device, I assume. So otherwise, I would have to say, you may keep the ring. Right? You can keep it, right?
You ran with that.
Shall I be less charitable than Abigail Van Buren, the current incarnation? Nay, I say.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, right.
Dr. Hal,
Yes?
I just had an abortion.
Yeah?
Don't you miss the Viking questions?
Frankly, I do not miss them because I know they have not departed. They will be back. There will be Viking questions. Before the end of this interval, we will be answering them. They do not depart as the actual Vikings do for Valhalla, the mead of all of the gods. Thank you.
What? Do abortion clinics charge more for twins?
Well, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that they did. They will ice two for the price of one.
Hal, it's getting out of control up here. Chicken, can I have your abortion? Dr. Hal,
Yeah,
I just had an abortion this morning.
that is sad.
Is it okay to smoke weed?
Why, yes. No doubt that is the sovereign solution to your difficulty. So light up and live. Courtesy of the Ask Dr. Hal show.
This is
The penultimate.
the penultimate question. This is the second to last question.
It's about Vikings having abortions or something.
Dr. Hal, I just had an abortion. Can
Yeah.
you send someone to my place to pick up all that baby shit?
At the present time, budgetary conniptions keep us from extending ourselves to an outreach program.
Now let's move on. Let's get a fresh question here. Here's a good question here. Okay. Dr. Hal,
Yes?
I just had an abortion.
That is sad, and growing sadder.
How long before I can have another abortion?
Well, you already had the abortion, and even if you didn't, it would be different.
God damn it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Daddy said I should have been an abortion